what we're going to do, just kind of go around. Denise will call on you folks. And I just want to remind everyone that for the digital meetings, if you are not speaking, to please mute so that, all presentations can be displayed equally and of quality. But what we'll do is we'll go around, do roll call. If you can acknowledge just where you're zooming in from in today, that would be great. So Denise.
Sure. This meeting will be broadcast live on CTN Cable Channel 16, AT&T Channel 99, online at a2gov.org, watch CTN. To speak in public comment, call toll-free 877-853-5247 or 888-788-0099. Enter meeting ID 919-8673-1455.
Thank you. And to all those watching, welcome.
Commissioner Poster, absent. Commissioner Hawkins, absent. Chair Damon.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. Zach Damon, Chairman of the Commission on Disability Issues. I'm here in Washtenaw County in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Solomon is absent today. Commissioner Mozak.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Kathleen Mozak, and I'm calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Vice Chair Keeler.
I'm Commissioner Vice Chair, and I'm calling in from, of course, the recliner on the west side of Ann Arbor.
Commissioner Gossage is absent today. Councilmember Nelson.
Hi, I'm calling in from the city of Ann Arbor.
Commissioner Budden, absent. Commissioner Allen Pipkin.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Allen Pipkin here, calling in from Ypsilanti, Michigan of Washtenaw County.
You have a quorum, but you need a majority to make decisions, so we're sort of stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Denise. I appreciate that. But folks, we'll go ahead and do the best we can today to keep the community informed and educated on all the great resources and the things we're doing here today. Denise, if at any time, for some reason, if we do end up having a quorum, if you don't mind, as you usually do, just letting me know, then maybe we can address some other things as we go forward.
Sure, no problem.
So, of course, we can't do the approval of the agenda or the minutes without a quorum and voting on that. So we're going to skip down, if I may, to the public comments section. I wasn't sure if there was anyone that tuned in this afternoon that wanted to make public comment. And if there was, I wanted to give them an opportunity to speak today.
Well, yes, Zach, we have Edwin Portugal with us this afternoon.
All right. So welcome, Mr. Portugal. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, my name is Edwin Portugal. I am calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I'm just here to figure out and see what you guys do.
Sure. And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your awareness. May I just ask you a quick question? How did you find out about us?
From the website, and then Larry reached out.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Edwin. And, if you do have any questions going forward, please feel free to let myself or any of us on the commission know, and we can do our best to address that. So thank you for joining us today.
Zach, Commissioner Hawkins has arrived.
All right, wonderful. Rachel, if you don't mind just stating where you're zooming in from this afternoon, that would be great.
Sure. Rachel Hawkins, Zooming from Ann Arbor.
All right, wonderful. Does that give us a quorum, Denise?
You have a quorum at 5, but you need a majority to vote.
Yep, understood. Thank you.
Okay.
Just making sure here.
Just a technicality.
So close.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're close, folks. Thank you. Okay. So moving on, after public comment, I'd like to get to the presentation portion of our agenda. So I'd like to welcome from the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled, the always informative and wonderful Katie Monkevich. Katie?
Thanks, Zach. Hi, everybody. Good to be here. As usual, I just have a couple of things for you today. I'm going to start out talking about events, but first, I just wanted to thank the commissioners for the comments at the last meeting requesting that the library offer events via Zoom or recorded sessions. And I wanted to let you know that I passed that on to my managers, and there have been a couple of meetings to discuss the options for that since then. I don't have anything super concrete to update you on quite yet, but I wanted to let you know that I have been told that we're working on it and considering staff and tech options now. So I wanted to thank you for saying something, and please continue to let me know about anything that you think that the library can do to improve, and I will continue to pass that along. We do currently have one option for viewing library programs at home, and that is our YouTube channel, which you can find by searching Ann Arbor District Library on youtube.com or at the web address aadl.tv. And there are a couple of events coming up on our channel that I wanted to tell you about. We have an author spotlight, Sarah Novick, on AADL TV on Saturday, October 29th from 5 to 5:30 p.m. Join AADL staffer Lucy as she shines a spotlight on the works of a single author. This month, she looks at the novels of Sarah Novick, author of True Biz, Girl at War, and America is Immigrants. Sarah Novick holds an MFA from Columbia University, where she studied fiction and literary translation. Her first novel, Girl at War, won the American Library Association's Alex Award and was a finalist for the Los Angeles Times Book Prize. She's an instructor of deaf studies and creative writing and lives in Philadelphia with her family. And then we have Bibliophiles. This one is focusing on horror. So that's Thursday, October 20th from 5 to 5:30 p.m. What's a great book of horror? Something to make you check the closet and under the bed just to be safe. Each week, a few AADL staff members present a book of their choice from a specific book topic, such as favorite classic, book about nature, fiction under 200 pages, beloved children's book, etc. The topics cover all genres and ages of reader. Join the conversation in the comment section and let us know what book you would have picked for this week's Bibliophiles. And there is one in-person event that I wanted to be sure to mention, and it's a film screening. This film is called Suppressed and Sabotaged: The Fight to Vote. This is on Tuesday, October 25th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Downtown Library in the 4th floor meeting room. Join the Michigan Community Scholars Program and members from the community for a screening of the film Suppressed and Sabotaged: The Fight to Vote, which is a film by Robert Greenwald, director of Outfoxed, Walmart, The High Cost of Low Price, and Making a Killing, Guns, Greed, and the NRA. It's a documentary that focuses on recent voter suppression and subversion laws being enacted in states and how the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial race between Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp provides a case study for understanding today's voter suppression laws across the country. Suppressed and Sabotaged: The Fight to Vote now includes perspectives from voters in Arizona, Florida, Texas, and Georgia that highlight how these new laws will affect their constitutional right to vote. This 44-minute documentary film is unrated. This event is in partnership with the Michigan Community Scholars Program at the University of Michigan, a program which brings together students and faculty who have a commitment to community service, diversity, and academic excellence. All right, I have a couple materials to mention. As usual, Washtenaw Library for the Blind and print disabled patrons can always contact us and order digital cartridges and other materials by calling 734-327-4224, or you can email wlbpd@aadl.org. And to sign up for the Braille and Audio Reading Service, Bard, you can download your own books, visit nlsbard.loc.gov, or call us and we can assist with this application. I'm going to tell you about a couple recent Bard books, but I do want to acknowledge that Larry mentioned last time that there have been fewer books added to Bard than usual, and that is absolutely true. I noticed that myself, and I noticed that on a couple of mailing lists that I'm on, and I reached out a little bit, heard that it's because Bard is currently being updated. They're hoping that this is just a slow period and they will get it going as quick as we're used to up soon, but I don't really have any like deadline for that. It's just what I've heard. So hopefully that's coming soon. I hope so as well. But here are a couple of books that I want to highlight, including True Biz by Sarah Novick, which I mentioned earlier. Charlie is a transfer student at the River Valley School for the Deaf who has never met another deaf person before. When Charlie has trouble adapting, the headmistress asks the school's golden boy, Austin, to help her settle in. But Austin is dealing with troubles of his own, and the school itself is in danger of closing. And we have Mean Baby, a memoir of growing up by Selma Blair. The first story Selma Blair Beatner ever heard about herself is that she was a mean baby. With her mouth pulled in a perpetual snarl and a head so furry it had to be rubbed to make way for her forehead, Selma spent years living up to her terrible reputation, biting her sisters, lying spontaneously, getting drunk from Passover wine at the age of 7, and behaving dramatically so that she would be the center of attention. Although Selma went on to become a celebrated Hollywood actress and model, she could never quite shake the periods of darkness that overtook her, the certainty that there was a great mystery at the heart of her life. She often felt like her arms might be on fire, a sensation not unlike electric shocks, and she secretly drank to escape. Over the course of this beautiful and at times devastating memoir, Selma lays bare her addiction to alcohol, her devotion to her brilliant and complicated mother, and the moments she flirted with death. There is brutal violence, passionate love, true friendship, the gift of motherhood, and finally, the surprising salvation of a multiple sclerosis diagnosis. And last, An Immense World by Ed Yong. The earth teems with sights and textures, sounds and vibrations, smells and tastes, electric and magnetic fields. But every kind of animal, including humans, is enclosed within its own unique sensory bubble, perceiving but a tiny sliver of our immense world. In An Immense World, author and Pulitzer Prize-winning science journalist Ed Yong coaxes us beyond the confines of our own senses, allowing us to perceive the skeins of scent, waves of electromagnetism, and pulses of pressure that surround us. I knew I was going to have trouble with that last sentence the first time I read it. But anyway, that's what I have for y'all today. Does anybody have any questions or comments for me?
Kathleen has her hand raised.
I
Kathleen.
just have a quick question. Could you please spell the name of the last author? Ed, was that Ed Young or Yong or?
It's Yong, Y-O-N-G.
Well, and just it seems like I just wanted to comment, Katie. It seems like a very interesting film, just about the different history of voter suppression and things like that. So interesting topic. And then Selma Blair, one of my favorites, great actress. And, what she's done, I think, in advocacy, not only for her own situation, but I think for PWDs as a whole has been great. So interesting book.
Yeah, it really is. And, it's interesting because she never expected to be an advocate, and she talks about how she grew up this privileged white woman, and then it just happens, and that's something that is really important message for everybody, I think.
For sure. Absolutely. Any other questions for Katie?
Yes, Commissioner
Yeah.
Pipkin has her hand up.
Thank you.
Hi there. I just wanted to confirm the date and time again of the voter suppression documentary that you were mentioning.
Yeah. So that is going to be on Tuesday, October 25th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Downtown Library, 4th floor meeting room.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chair Keeler, Vice Chair Keeler.
Well, two things. First, thank you for checking out Bard and mentioning that, because yeah, they haven't been putting up much stuff. And second of all, I think that what was the name of that book about the deaf student and the school? Was that was the Riverside School from California, right?
Yeah, that's called True Biz. That just came out this year. And it's a fiction book, but it's been very popular.
Oh, my daughter could have wrote it.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
My daughter's hearing impaired. She went through almost exactly that kind of thing in Flint.
Okay, yeah, that's a really
Transferred
interesting
from
story.
Ann Arbor Public School District to Flint. She went through almost that exact same kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you, Katie. Does anyone have any more questions for Katie? All right. Well, as usual, thank you to the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled for all they do to make sure that reading and information is accessible to our community. As always, thank you, Katie, for everything. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, everybody, for having me. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye-bye. All right. Next, we have the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living report with Miss Blair. Miss Blair, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm with the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living, otherwise known as the CIL. We serve the counties of Monroe, Washtenaw, and Livingston. And first, I'd like to tell you that if you are a person or a family with a disabled person and you need help with the holidays, please contact our center. All the resources that I'm getting ready to talk about can be accessed by calling 734-971-0277. And there are some specific emails that I might mention, but for access, see our website at www.annarborcil.org. And there are links to some of the groups that I'm getting ready to tell you about. First, we have a support group for disabled parents. It's called Caring Connections. It meets the second and fourth Tuesday of each month. The next meeting is October the 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. and it's available via Zoom. For more information, you're going to ask for Renee or Celeste when you call our number. The next group that I'd like to announce is a repeat of the Oreo Club. It's an organized recreational eating occasion club on Zoom. And yes, that is the correct term. It's the Oreo Club. You guessed it, we're getting together to eat and talk about cookies. Have you noticed how Oreo cookies come out in different flavors every month? We're getting together to explore each month's flavor, connect with other people, and engage in great discussions. We'll talk cookies and life, create Oreo-themed artwork, and collaborate on a customized Oreo order to share. Oreo cookies will be provided for pickup at the Ann Arbor CIL each month. Our address is 3941 Research Park Drive, Ann Arbor 48108. For more information, see our website. There's a link to register, but you can also ask for Claire Moore. Next meeting is Friday, October 21st at from 3 to 4 p.m. The next group I'd like to tell you about is Your World, Navigating Life with Blindness and Low Vision. This is also a Zoom meeting for people that are experiencing vision loss or who are blind. The topics will be participant driven or are participant driven, and Sessions empower group members to embrace their self-identities and individuality as people with low vision. And it strengthens their belonging and their community inclusion. They talk about issues in accessibility. And the group facilitators are professionals from a wide range of backgrounds who experience blindness or vision loss. Assistive technology support is available at these meetings. The next meeting is Wednesday, November the 2nd, and it meets the first Wednesday of every month at 12 o'clock noon. For more information, contact Renee Eccles. There is another Safe Connections group, is the CIO's discussion group on Zoom for those against toxic or unhealthy relationships. Join us for safe talk about making relationships positive and healthy. And those groups meet October next on, this evening from 6 to 8. And the person must be 18 plus with an intellectual or developmental disability to participate. The group is led by Shannon Clark, Izzy Bullock, and Katie Oswald. It helps people to make better decisions with dating and relationships and have ideas to make relationships positive, improves communication and gender identity and expression. For more information, you can contact Isabel Bullock. Next, we have a virtual movie club. In this group, people can watch a movie, they can chat with folks, they can beat the stay-at-home blues and join the CIL's virtual movie club. How does it work? Each week, watch a planned movie on your own time and then get together virtually to talk about it and have some fun. It's that easy. Movie club sessions include trivia and thought-provoking questions and laughter. Next movie is, it happens Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. And the next one is October the 20th, Pets United. October the 27th, Lemony Snickets. November the 3rd, The Spy Next Door. And November the 10th, Peter Rabbit. For more information, please contact Anna at the Center for Independent Living. Next, we have the art program, and there is a direct link on our website. That art class is run by Claire Moore. She holds classes and social groups in that experience art in a relaxed social environment, rotating through different media. New materials are explored each week and techniques are given in a guided manner. No previous experience is necessary, whether joining us online or from home or in person. There is no special equipment or supplies needed, and if there are, the CIO will provide them. These classes happen on Mondays from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Virtual art classes guided session on Tuesdays, 1:30 to 3, and Thursdays, 1:30 to 3 p.m. Again, the link to the website is right on our website. Trivia Tuesdays. Get silly, get goofy, and most of all, put on your thinking cap. Every Tuesday, we get together to play trivia. And whether you like easy questions or the tough ones, join us for some Tuesday fun. We also talk about ideas, problem solving for whatever disability related challenges you might be having in a fun way. This is a virtual support group. It's Tuesdays, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. For more information, contact Anna Deuceweber. Be Active at Home Spirit Club, inclusive fitness and exercise via Zoom. There is no class on October 26th and October 31st, but there is a class today, October 19th from 4 to 5 p.m. and Monday the 24th. For more information, contact Mark Himes. These exercise classes are adaptable and accessible. The spinal cord injury virtual meetup and support group. Living with a spinal cord injury can be challenging in many ways. Join us to connect with others, get help tackling your own needs, and provide help and advice to others. This group meets the second Tuesday of the month, 12 o'clock to 1:30 p.m. The next meeting is November the 8th, 2022. For more information, contact Tom Hoatland at our number. Disability Community Action Lab, we talk about issues that are important to the community. Our meeting today, we talked about reproductive rights for women, for disabled women. It is a collaborative group taking action on issues facing people with disabilities and provides support in making a difference. In this program, you will connect with others who care about similar issues and develop plans to making a difference in how we can advocate for each other. General DECAL meetings are the third Wednesday of every month from 12 to 1:30 p.m. The next meeting is November 16th, 2022. For more information, contact Elliot Carter. That concludes the events announcement for the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living. Are there any questions?
Well, thank you, Ms. Blair. I definitely want to commend you and the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living for all the great things that you're offering. Lemony Snicket's, by the way, one of my favorites. So
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. All right. A lot of good things going on at the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living. All right. Next, we have the Partners and Access report and Community Engagement report. So that will go to Rachel Hawkins this afternoon. Rachel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I do not have anything to report from Partners in Access. I was unable to meet recently, so I don't know if there's additional updates. As I know for community engagement, we have Ann Arbor Inclusive just recorded a new episode this week that's going to premiere on Friday, October 28th at 4:30, and that will be with Brian Wilkinson from Michigan Track Chair. So I don't, Larry, are there other things you'd like to add about meeting with Alex?
We had the meeting and neither of us came up with anything that was immediately anything for us to take care of. So we were going back to the commission to give us some ideas of things to work on. So we did meet, but we didn't really have anything much to discuss.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that. All righty. Well, thank you both, and thank you to everyone involved with Ann Arbor Inclusive too. By the way, just a quick question for you on that, Rachel. Is Ann Arbor Inclusive back in studio, or are they still producing remotely?
Let me see if that it says in the message I got from Melissa. It doesn't say, but I can send her a message right now and ask her to confirm if they're back in the studio yet.
Yeah, no problem. I was just interested to know whether they were still remote production or back in studio. No problem either way.
Okay.
Thank
you.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Next, moving down, we have recruiting activity with Larry Keeler.
Well, since we last talked, I've got an application to review pretty quick here, and I also have you also have talked with the fruits of my recruiting a little bit ago, and Mr. Portugal spoke, and we invited him to public comment because he showed some interest in the commission, and we heard from him. And I have one to review, and that's it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Do appreciate that. And absolutely, thank you to Mr. Portugal for joining us today. Next, we have the Transportation Commission update with Larry yet again.
With me yet again. Well, we had our meeting on the 21st of last month, and we discussed that one of the things, there was a seat on on the Transportation Commission that was delegated to people who owned like any kind of business. Now it's open to the public. Anyone can sit on that seat. So, you know, anybody who has a concern and wants to help out with transportation can have that seat. It's not restricted to businesses anymore. And we talked a little about the capital improvement plan, which is going on. And one of the big things that's happening is 7th and Greenview. They're trying to do a lot of construction down there and put in some bike lanes and stop people from parking in the middle of the street. And let's see here, I got to change the page. And so they want to put biking buffers, and they want to widen the lanes, put biking buffers, and have people stop parking in the streets. And they plan to work on a few more corridors, transportation corridors. And the other thing I made note of was that they have a 5-year plan, which is going to include in their updated 5-year plan, putting in more crosswalks and implementing speed control. And I made a note here because I was very curious because they do a lot of things. Apparently, speed control is a whole science. It's a whole science with speed reduction. You know, widening lanes, making lanes skinnier so you can slow traffic down, put bumps in and speed bumps in, and all kinds of things to slow down traffic. I didn't realize how much technology went into speed control. And the final thing I'll mention is if the commission has anything that they need to take up at the end of toward the end of the meeting, they have boards and commissions, and any commission anybody who has a commission representative there can take any concerns from their commission to the transportation board. So if we have some issues that come up in our commission, we can bring them up at the transportation. We can mention them at the transportation commission through me, and that's it. The whole transportation report, of course, is in the packet.
Yes, it is.
Thank
indeed.
you.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just said thank you.
Yes, indeed, Larry.
cut myself off.
Thank you again for all your.
Oh, and the next transportation meeting is tonight at 7.
Okay. Thank you so much, Larry, for your efforts and work with the Transportation Commission. And yes, as you did allude to, a lot of our minutes and past things are in the packet there for all of you. So if for any reason any of those links or anything like that you cannot access or you did not receive, please let us know and we can get that to you. But thank you very much, Larry, again for your efforts on that.
Their meetings are under a2.gov too, aren't they? Under the meetings and boards and commissions and meetings, are they put on here like ours are?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they are. I'm pretty sure.
And also they are broadcast in almost real time. I think they're a second or two different on this one is Wednesday at 7. So if you want to tune in to that, you can just turn to CTN channel 16. Those who are watching will know that channel because they're watching it. And the next one is the 16th of next month, 16th of November. Again,
Noted.
after our commission. Now I'm finished, I promise.
Noted. Thank you so much, Commissioner Keeler. We do appreciate all of your efforts. Thank you very much. Next, we have the always pleasant and informative report for the U of M Council with Disability Concerns meeting update with Kathleen Mozak. Kathleen.
Hello, everyone. So on Tuesday, October 11th, the CFDC had their monthly meeting, and we heard from Phil Deaton, who is the accessibility coordinator in the Equity, Title IX, and Civil Rights Department. We had 2 updates with regards to information and technology services. And the conversation you can follow quite clearly if you click it on the agenda. It's a very detailed information with regards to what was said. So I'll just hit some highlights. The first topic was centered on strategies for providing digital accessibility feedback to software creators such as Zoom. I don't know if you all have noticed in other meetings that there are some accessibility issues with Zoom and other technology providers. Some of the 4 main accessibility features that were identified by the University of Michigan are: when you go into a breakout room, closed captioning does not become available. They're looking at wanting to adjust the font size and the names of meeting participants for accessibility. Also being able to change the shape of the closed captioning box, which could be helpful for some, as well as toggling off the auto scrolling on the Zoom transcript. Their ITS is working up a draft template, asking Zoom and others about these features and a way for a direct request to come from individual participants. Their feeling is that the university itself, from my understanding, has been struggling to move any of this forward. So they're hoping that by involving the public, by involving university students, faculty, and staff, that individual requests will help amp up and bump up the genuine need for these types of accommodations. The second issue that was discussed was the procurement of their CART services and ASL, which you can again read. Additionally, the CFDC has a few upcoming events that I hope you might consider attending. They have the 2022 Towards an Anti-Ableist Academy Conference, which starts tomorrow and features over a dozen speakers on various topics related to disability and the university. And you can check that out on the university website. There is also the Neubacher Awards Ceremony, which will be held virtually on November 4th at 1 p.m. And the registration link is in your packet on the agenda. So the next meeting is Tuesday, noon, via Zoom on November 8th. And finally, I do have an announcement. My life has taken on some new responsibilities. So I find that I need to step down as the liaison to the center or to the Council for Disability Concerns, as well as the position I hold with them on their advisory board. I have spoken with Zach, our chair, about this, and I think he'll be discussing it further in our agenda. But I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure to be able to do this for you for the last, well, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And I hope that someone will consider taking on the position. I will still continue to attend the meetings, but I just won't be reporting now. So please consider.
Absolutely. And Kathleen, I just want to say that, we appreciate your efforts, your contribution for many years that you've given to the commission on behalf of the Council for Disability Concerns. And, we're very grateful for your efforts that you put forth in keeping us, informed on what's going on. And so thank you for that. And of course, folks, it doesn't mean that she's just to be clear, she's not leaving the commission. She's just leaving her seat as reporting for the Council for Disability Concerns at UM. So thank you, Kathleen. All right. And as Kathleen pointed out, I just want to note, I will touch a bit on that as well during my share report coming up. Next, we go to the city personnel report with Denise.
I don't have anything to report this month.
All right,
But
all is well within the city. Okay,
yeah,
good. Well, thank you, Denise, and we appreciate all your efforts, on behalf
well,
of the city of Ann Arbor as well. Thank you.
thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Well, next we have the chair report, and so I have a couple of things as well. Well, first of all, I want to announce that October is Disability Employment Awareness Month, and so I hope that we can all individually recognize this wonderful celebration of disability employment, within our state and within our communities, because that is extremely important. And, I had the distinct pleasure, and I hope all of you can join me for a coffee sometime downtown at the Biddy and Bowes coffee shop. They are a coffee shop. Yes, Kathleen is clapping. She has hands. But they're a coffee shop that is dedicated to employing people with disabilities within our community. And I have to say, it was a extremely uplifting to attend a shop and get a great cup of coffee and get a great pastry, all within the parameters of employing individuals with disabilities and making sure that they are contributing citizens and giving back to our financial exchange and our economy. And I have to tell you, I was inspired because the zeal that they had just doing their work and doing their job at the coffee shop was it was just really refreshing, and it was nice. So I hope all of us can get there to support Biddy and Bowes Coffee and support their mission of employing people with disabilities, but also just take time to do whatever we can to examine Disability Employment Awareness Month and celebrate that as well. So wanted to point that out. Also, as Commissioner Mozak mentioned, she is leaving her post as the Council for Disability Concerns Liaison with U of M. So I wanted to put that out there that please, we want to continue this great relationship with the Council for Disability Concerns at UM. We want to continue to have a good presence and a good pipeline of information of what's going on in the university community, what's being offered on campus that possibly we could partner with or that we could attend as well to show support. I mean, I feel like, what they're doing on campus, and then in my opinion, what we do on the commission go hand in hand, the majority of the time. And so I think this is something that is not too taxing. And I also think that it's something that is very important in keeping us informed on what's going on accessibility within the university and on their campus. So if any of you are interested in this vacancy and want to pursue that, I really encourage you to send me an email, CC Denise on that, and we can discuss that with you and let Commissioner Mozak know as well, so that they can, Commissioner Mozak can brief you on any procedures or different things that you would need to do to adequately fill that seat. But I want to urge and challenge any of you on the commission to step up and take this leadership role and continue our great relationship that we have. Thank you. Next, I just wanted to talk about recruitment for a minute. I know Larry is doing a great job with that. I know we have some prospective commissioners in line, so I'm very excited to review those applications and go through that process and possibly get some seats filled here on our commission. As we had mentioned in previous meetings, we're in formation of forming a recruitment subcommittee so that our recruitment specialist, Mr. Keeler, doesn't have to necessarily have the daunting task of reviewing all of the applications himself, but yet he can have people that can meet with him and review those and discuss the most qualified applicants that have submitted. So I also want to urge all of these, any commissioner available, that if you would like to be a part of the recruitment subcommittee, and this is something that you are interested in, I urge you to join myself and Larry and be a part of this recruitment subcommittee so that we can adequately review these applications and select the most qualified individuals to recommend to the city to fill commission seats. So thank you for that. As far as the chair report, at this point, that is all that I have. But I want to say that, if there's anything else going forward, I encourage everyone to understand that I am open and I'm available for feedback. And if there are anything that you as commissioners or anybody else viewing want to express to me as chairman of the Commission on Disability Issues, I'm open and hearing your feedback. So thank you. That is the chair report.
Chair Damon, Larry, Vice Chair rather, has his hand up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Larry, you have...
well, I was waiting. We were waiting until you were finished. Thanks, Denise. I didn't want to interrupt him. Question and comment. One question, two small comments. The question is, where's the coffee shop? What is the name of it? The coffee shop.
Yes, absolutely. It is called Biddy and Bo's Coffee Shop, and it is located, 1 second, 305 South Main Street. It's right next.
I don't even know where the beer.
It's right next to
what?
Shalimar Indian Cuisine restaurant.
Oh, okay. I know where Shalimar is.
Yep.
Yeah, I know where Shalimar. Almost across the street from the beer place.
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. Now the next thing is the comment. The comment is, I have two. I would thank anybody who wants to join me to help me out, because, of course, I'm doing this, but I got life too, and sometimes I think I've had weird things going on, like, yeah, and it's life. But the other thing is that Starbucks also employs a lot of people with disabilities. My daughter has been working for Starbucks for something like 6 or 7 years, and for some of those that know me, my daughter's, you never met her, but she's deaf, and she's been working in East Lansing, and then she transferred up to Marquette. I don't feel any sorry for her, because I went there myself and 30 years ago, and it was cold, and it's still cold. But she's been working there, and she's a barista up there, and she's having a wonderful time of it.
Well, good, Larry. Absolutely. And, I am familiar vaguely with, Starbucks efforts to also hire people with disabilities as well. And so I do appreciate you bringing that up. And I think, with Starbucks and their efforts, but also with the business model that Biddy and Bo's has, I think there's, some good headway and some good positive change that's going forth in disability employment and kind of those opportunities that are being presented. And absolutely. And, I would just want to say, I've never met your daughter, but Marquette's a beautiful area. Love it up there in northern Michigan. And, I just her for, wanting to work and again, to do her part and, gain good skills. And definitely appreciate you sharing that. All right. So let's see, moving on. Under old business, I just want to touch again on the subcommittee and recruitment, because I also want to point out just how important I believe that this recruitment subcommittee is, you guys, because if we can get some dedicated individuals that can meet, at a designated time and have an opportunity to review these applications, what that's also going to do is it's also going to set us up to have a regular quorum, right? To be able to have some individuals that are filling the seats so that guess what? I mean, I enjoy sharing the information, but I'd also enjoy voting on some things and being able to have a quorum so that we can vote and and do the work that we're meant to do. And I have to say that when you don't have a quorum, it's very, very difficult to do that. And so I think that recruitment should be something that is very paramount to us going forward. And I want to, just commend all the commissioners currently just for your commitment and, your constant zeal to be a part of the commission. But I encourage all of you that if you know of others, and I'm going to do this myself, but if you know of others that you feel could be a great fit and fill a seat on our commission and are a part of our community, and you feel would be, a great asset, I encourage you to share information about what we're doing and how to apply. And, and if we believe that they're a good fit, then they may be. So just please try and get the word out about recruitment. But again, as far as the subcommittee goes, please consider that. It doesn't have to be a huge subcommittee. I would say, with Larry at the helm, maybe only needs to be 2 or 3 of us, at the least. And if there's more, great. But I would say if we can have, additionally 2 or 3 other people to help Larry in the recruitment processes and reviewing these applications, which many of these applications, they're great individuals, qualified individuals, very, very capable and very passionate. We want to give them that opportunity. But as Larry mentioned, life happens and no one can do everything by themselves. So I just wanted to say one more pitch about that. All right. Okay. So yeah, as far as communications goes, we have our community calendar up and going. Our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, November 16th at 4 p.m. And of course, we will be meeting via electronic meeting yet again. And I have to tell you guys, because of Michigan winters and how fall is going to be, I'm grateful that we're able to meet remotely, and hopefully this is convenient for most of you. But there will be a time eventually, when things do go back to in person. But I'm grateful for the city and them providing the opportunity for us to keep our meetings accessible, so that the elements going forward into the winter and fall are not an issue. Absolutely.
Chair Damon, we overlooked new business.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Okay. Yep, let me look at that. Oh, yes, you're right. Gosh, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, in new business, I do apologize, folks. We have a new director of organizational equity, and that is Laura Orta, if I've pronounced her name correctly. And I'm really excited to announce that she'll be attending our meeting coming up. I believe our meeting next month. So I'm very, very excited, and I'm very excited and grateful for the work that City Commissioner Dahoney has put in as well, because he had mentioned to a few commissioners who were really trying to engage to get the city ADA coordinator position, to get that solidified. Again, I'm glad to report that we did, and he did report that once that equity position was filled, that would be a top project priority for this person. So I'm excited to welcome her to our meeting, and then of course getting that process going of the city ADA coordinator and beginning that as well. So thank you, Denise. I'm sorry I overlooked that in this long day. Okay. But yes, very excited to welcome her next. And I want to encourage commissioners, by the way, if you guys do have some questions for her, please feel free to send those in advance to myself or Denise, so that we can have those prepped and kind of ready to go for her when she presents, so that she can answer those, I would say, to the best of her ability, and be able to have those on this public forum as well. All right, I think that's all for new business. So yeah, is there any other announcements or any other points of information before we adjourn? Rachel?
I just wanted to add, so I did message Denise about Ann Arbor Inclusive and got a response back while we've been talking. So they are still filming remotely, but they're finding that's really enhancing the people that they're able to engage with, because there's people from all throughout Michigan that they've been working with who aren't necessarily based in Ann Arbor, but there's the services and the programs that they're involved in really apply to us as well. So that was Melissa's update.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, doing doing remote production, makes things a lot easier, especially, if they're in the UP or in Northern Michigan, they don't have to make the trek all the way to the studio. Absolutely. And thank you for that update. Ann Arbor Inclusive, continuing to do a great job in keeping the city informed of what's going on and the resources in Michigan as far as disability resources go. And of course, the Community Television Network doing a great job as well. Any other announcements before our adjournment? Okay. Well, with that, folks, it is 5 o'clock, so I will adjourn this meeting. I want to thank everyone who participated, who joined us this afternoon, who shared information for joining us. If you do have inquiries about the Ann Arbor Commission on Disability Issues or want to know more about disability resources, feel free to visit the Disability Resource webpage online at the city website at a2gov.org/disability resources. And again, I'd like to thank the City of Ann Arbor and the Community Television Network for all of their continued work and efforts in keeping our city educated and accessible for all. Thank you, and we'll see you next month.
Good night.
Bye-bye.